Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks. I thought I was the only one making Gremlin tanks, but apparently the opposition has also caught on. What you're looking at right now is what they have called the Forsetti Ausführung B. This one is a pretty decent build, I'd say. It's the Leichtraktor, at least that's the chassis, that's the hull. Then they added the Pegasus the Pegasus Mark II tracks. Now I recently got the Forsetti C, and this is what they came up with. Some parts are new. Like, I didn't know about the Cobalt. The Cobalt tracks. I think they're they're an interesting addition to this tank. They also put on the Universal Mark IV/25 turret, and that's going to give me a couple of tier 2 parts. I think I know most of them. But just the way that this little Gremlin, this little freak of a tank was designed, I think it's beautiful. We're going to do more of that, please. Also, I want to say thank you to a lot of you who have been suggesting and helping me get better at the game by saying, well, if you look at a contract, some parts are highlighted. And I thought, yeah, okay, I just never really noticed that. Some parts are highlighted, such as the accuracy, which means that if you do well here, it's going to give you a resulting ×3. This works both ways. If your accuracy is worse than what they want, you're going to get a ×3 penalty. So keep that in mind, but it does mean that some of these specializations, and of course, yeah, I mean, the tooltip says so, the specializations are important. This is what they want. And as such, it's going to add 3 times more success points if it's overfilled. So note to self, just read the tooltip. That should fix it. The British, by the way, want the Leichtraktor Mark I, the original. And I have a massive success score. Even after maxing out the price tag, they're happily paying that. And my success score is just enormous with this tank. And this has to do with the accuracy. This has to do with the shock pen. This has to do mostly with the primary weapon stat, I think. Because the rest of it is not that special. I mean, looking at mobility, they want transportability. So, yeah, I think we're getting some points there, but not that many. Anyway, that's going to give me about 1 million and change. But so far, business has been pretty good. We're at 33 million, just shy of that. So all is good. I'm researching some new parts. I'm getting resistant fuel. And I'm also working on another firepower upgrade. Now, I know that I am also going to be picking up, I think, an engine. I think it's one of the V8 versions that I'm about to reverse engineer. And I'm trying to get all the way over to the diesel engine and different tracks so that I might make those additional tank requirements work a little better. When it comes to firepower, we're a little lacking. We do have the new anti-aircraft heavy machine gun. And when it comes to structure, the next big plan is going to be the Wotan cemented steel. After that, we're going to be getting some different hulls. The multi-turret light hull or the single turret light hull. But I already have another tank that I'm also reverse engineering. That is the Boulder. This one is the Mittler tractor, so the middle tractor. And this is a little heavier. You're looking at about 20 tons with this tank. Right now, it seems to be a mix of German components and British. Because this turret, the cruiser, is decidedly British. And then they are using a German frame. I think they're using British tracks, but I'm not 100% on that. So there's definitely plenty to learn from this tank, and this is something that I want to build for my own. I am, however, interested first in whether anybody actually wants something like that. Because at the moment, the contracts they're drying up a little bit. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful as to what exactly I engineer. And or reverse engineer. Yeah, they got some Mark III parts in there. I'm not sure how many I have. Let's reverse engineer the turret first, and then we'll do the engine. So let's wait for another contract to pop up and see what sort of tank freak we can build for that. Time to have another look at the Leichtraktor. The reason for this is that the Swedes want a new tank, and it's something that I cannot provide. They want something that's pretty light. Only 11 tons, and not even that. So the current version of the Leichtraktor that I have is too heavy, and that's very heavily penalized. If I would get rid of a bunch of weight on this tank, I might actually get quite a decent success score. Because say that you have a tank that's about that, you're just removing that whole debuff, and suddenly you're at about 300, 400 points. Fortunately, I do have the new Cobalt tracks researched. And this suddenly puts us a lot closer to what they want. Because right with that track, I think it fixes a lot of issues with the tank. It's lighter, it has a better power to weight ratio, and it just fixes so many issues with this tank. It's insane. Like, the only thing I was missing was the Cobalt tracks, just the running gear. Because if you look at what the contract wants, they want something that has good road speed, good cross-country speed, and good agility. Alright, so we're going to open mobility first. They want 32. What we have is 41. Check. What they want is 25 and 22. And we're going to have 47 and 34. So this is definitely going to be a big hit. Okay, that's one. Then they want rate of fire, accuracy, and shells. So firepower hard, accuracy has to be 38 and 37 ROF. Okay. So we're going to zip all of this stuff up. Firepower, hard, 37. We're not quite there at 34 ROF. And 38 accuracy, but our gun has 45. So we're surpassing that. Shell count, they want 16. And that's what we're almost bringing. We're two shells short. I think that's fine. And then finally, crew awareness. 34, 25, and 26. Don't think we're quite going to do that well. Well, crew awareness is 25. I mean, it's not bad. It's not what they want. Oh, actually, crew awareness is. And then crew safety 34. Crew safety 34, check. So this is like the perfect tank. This is exactly what they want. Excellent. Let's go build this thing. This is going to be the, I don't know, the Light Tractor V2, just to make it a little simpler. Unfortunately, I probably won't have an engineer at the right time, and that sucks. Because I would very much appreciate having this tank ready at that given time, but I can't. Unless I get a breakthrough. They want it done in 18 days, or at least that's what the engineering department can say. No, the design compartment, and that's without fixing the machine guns. If I get a breakthrough, I might be able to submit it in time, but it's going to be very, very, very short. Regarding the machine gun, I have a 306, and I think that's pretty much as good as it's gonna be. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I do still need to engineer that thing. If I take this one, but I could just take this one, that's fine. Just the Machine and Gewehr version 1. So then, add the crew. Crew should be fine. Like, toss in a driver, get a commander to get the command under the tank, gunner... maybe a loader mechanic, and then a full mechanic. We're going to have to switch you to mechanic, and then you're going to be the gunner. There. Almost perfect. Crew awareness is slightly less now, but I don't really mind, because I'm much more interested in that weight, which is far closer to what they want. It's not perfect, though. It's not perfect, so that's something we might never really be able to attain. Yet... maybe we can make up for it with a little bit of firepower, like tungsten core cartridges, and then, I don't know, another tier 1 Mark IV steel core. We're going to have the tier 2 refined fuel and purified oil. Paint is going to be the same. Save that, assign that. 16 days. Come on, breakthrough. Although, like, it's not a massive contract. It's, what, 1 million and change? Not even that. If I buff this and buff that, like now we're looking at a 2 million contract. It's okay. It's okay, but if I had contracts for about 10 million, so this is a heck of a lot better. The Ottomans also want something. Wow, they want the CB15? Oh, sorry, CB16? Interesting. Don't I have what you want? I haven't updated this tank in years. But if they want the CB16 SC and the Kinotar, well, I have that. That's exactly what that thing is. So, yeah, let's go make some money off of the Ottomans. What's the opposition going to send? The Tyrannos MLE3. I'm going to bank on the fact that they have a success score of about 300. So 330 ought to do it. And again, it's a fairly small contract, like it's 1.2 million. But hey, we're in the money-making tank building business. So I'm not going to be picky. How many do they want again? 40. That's for the Swedes. The other guys want 32. Very well. 32 coming up. I should have a decent amount of resources there, but I now need to start filling up on, on rubber, because that's about to run dry. Some of you guys have been mentioning, hey, you're not using the shipment from the USA. Correct. And the reason for that is that North America is very expensive when it comes to most resources. Europe is definitely worse, but North America is not that far behind, and it takes 18 days for materials to get here. Whereas if you're pulling it in from Oceania, you're looking at 20 days, but you're generally getting even more of a discount. This is why I'm not, well, most of the time, using the North American supplier, because they're just more expensive than Oceania. So I'd much prefer to wait a little bit more, and I generally can get away with that. Let's get 10k for that. Maybe some more high carbon steel. I'll just take your entire stock, and then, yeah, fine. 35 and 35. Done. Not enough warehouse capacity. Okay, that might be a problem. We're looking to get 118k. Yeah, I can't quite stash that. 113. 35 to 30. Send it. Okay, good. So that'll completely fill up the warehouse. That's nice. We have, unfortunately, no breakthrough on the like tractor. Was really hoping for it, but alas, they rejected it. Interesting. There's a first. So the other one was better than ours. Okay. Well, I suppose there are things that I can improve about that chassis. Many things at this point. They have an attribute sum of 421, but that's of course without anything. Just remove that one. And give me a clone of this whole design. No. Come on. That's the V2 that we're running. Give me a clone. Good. So what we currently have is an attribute sum for engines, which is okay, but we can definitely do better. They are definitely using the Kinatar V2, which I think at this point is kind of showing its age. Let's just do a full upgrade of this tank and make sure that it's fully up to par with all the new gear that we can have on it. Ta-da! New tank. This is the CB16 version 2. And, well, actually the V3, I suppose. It's not anywhere near the V2. This one used to have quite the old design. I upgraded the design, so the hull with all new parts. The Liberty as well. The engine's been overhauled. We have a few less machine guns. We got one German gun in the front, one German machine gun in the back, and a German machine gun in the front. So the sides of the tank not properly protected, but this does mean it doesn't need as many crew members. So that kind of helps there. When you're looking at the performance of the whole vehicle, massive improvement. We're looking at an attribute sum of 1389 versus 1513. And that's actually a very good improvement considering that the tank is also lighter. So less crew, lighter tank, bigger attribute sum. I like it. Let's engineer it. Oh, sorry. Let's engineer all these parts and make sure that the tank is ready for design. This way, I might not immediately use it, but if I don't immediately use it, that's fine because I can just have it ready. And if somebody comes knocking, I can say, yep, no, I got the perfect version for you here. So you can send this guy up to work. I can send in that as a contract. Why can I not assign this? Do I not have enough engineers? I suppose all my engineers are busy. Break out the engineer box. We need more of them. All of you over here. Yes. Let's go, people. Plenty of things to do. And I know that I'm paying these guys, so yeah, I might as well have them do something useful. So let's get the Liberty engine. It's going to take 39 days, and I can definitely sink that Liberty engine into something else as well. It's just a little engineer hungry, or mechanic hungry. It needs 10, maybe even 11 mechanics in order just to run that thing. So yeah, it's a little expensive in that sense. Ah, Norway. What do you want? Oh, really? The Like Tractor V2, and they like it! How about that? They don't like it very much, but they think it's okay. And I think it is kind of engineered with the thing that I have in mind. Maybe I could just put it through the proving grounds and get a couple of those defects just ironed out. How long is that going to take? 24 days. So 24 days, yeah, I can make that work. That's fine. Excellent. Progress. Now, there is another tank that I still want to work on, and that is that new hull. That, I think it was the Germans that provided it. And the Mittlertraktor. Let's go with this. They have the capabilities of having 2 turrets. One here, of course, the main turret. One there, and one somewhere on the back. Going to be very difficult to sneak up on this tank. Now, when it comes to the hull, I think, again, we can make some differences here. So, let's see. We need to beat 686 and ideally have it as a lower weight than the main tank. Challenge accepted. Alright, let's make sure that crew communication is good. Some people or some contract clients really want that. They want better crew aiming, better crew awareness. Crew comfort is apparently worse if you're using that big-ass radio. If you're using a slightly smaller radio, it's going to do less for a crew awareness. A radio makes them less aware, but it does make the crew comfort better. If I go with this, their aiming is going to get worse. So, like, there's not really any radio, apparently, that just makes everything better. Speaking tubes are, as far as I'm concerned, very much outdated. So if I start sorting these things by attribute sums, yeah, we're definitely going to see the Mark IV as the winner here. Headlights. Yeah, I think Tier 2 Mark III are going to be a little better. We got sloped hatch over here. A sloped hatch Tier 2 Mark II. I also have a Tier 2 Mark IV, the optimized maintenance hatch. This one is a little heavier stat-wise, the structure is better, but operation range is apparently worse. That's weird. How does a hatch change the operational range of the tank? Operational range is now 0. That's pretty awful. I don't think it's because the hatch is so heavy. Like, can you not access the fuel, the fuel cap anymore? Is that what's going on? It makes very little sense. Here, the thick maintenance hatch has the same problem. It's weird. And they are sorted by attributes. Now, you can definitely compensate for this by just adding a couple of fuel storages to the tank. But, well, you're getting 12. If you would also get, like, the sloped hatch, you're probably getting, yeah, you're getting very good operational range. Are they storing fuel in the hatch? Is that what they're... That would be really weird if that's what they're doing. Okay, shells. I think it packs plenty of shells as is. Already packs 42 shells. You can probably push this up to... Oh, sorry, this is firepower soft. And if I go without that, 22. Yeah, that'll be fine. When it comes to the airflow or ventilation slots, we have the screened ventilation fans. Sorted by attributes, I think the ventilation fan array is the best. Does also take up a little bit more volume, but it should be fine. Unfortunately, crew comfort is starting to really suffer. Crew comfort... Oh, it is still 25. If I take this, it's going to suffer operational range again. But I just boosted that. So operational range is now 14. I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, so next up. Additional ammo stowage. Don't really need that. Fuel stowage. No. Panzer hatch. We have access to... 2 different options, really. The Panzer hatch for the Germans from 1926 might be the best. The crew comfort, again, is pretty good. And that comes at the expense of crew safety. So crew safety is 16, but crew comfort is 38. I don't mind sacrificing a little bit of crew comfort, just to balance out those stats a little bit. And then finally we have the type of armor. They're using Tier 2 Mark 1. I can add Tier 2 Mark II for better kinetic resistance, no, same kinetic resistance, better spall resistance, and slightly heavier. How heavy would that make this thing? 12,310, as opposed to 11,900. So this might need to get changed, depending on whether or not the tracks can carry that. Okay, I think it might have turned out a little heavier, relative to what it was. Yeah, but I gained about 40 stat points. Okay, not bad. What was the original design propelled by? What did they use? Oh, I don't know what they used. Okay. It's a 12-ton tank. Can I add... I can add the Typhon. Let's just sort this by attribute again. Because we're probably going to see the Tier 2s immediately rise to the top. There we go. Mark II Cerberus tracks. That should be sufficient to carry all the weight from the tank. And if we have a tank that's 16 tons, I don't think the Armstrong is going to be... Oh yeah, it is powerful enough. So we're looking at probably when it ends up with the turret and all the guns. Like what, a 21 ton tank? Something in that range. Regarding the turret, we have access to the support turret. This is one of those smaller turrets on the front, which means you're going to get an independent machine gun turret. For the main one, I'm not even sure I want a second turret on the back. No, sorry, that is the back. This is the back turret. So I can just opt for going with an armored seal there. And then having one of those turrets there. And then for the main turret, we've got a 544 there for the universal. Which I don't think fits exactly because it does seem to be sticking out a little bit. It's a bit weird, but, well, that's not at all unusual for my tanks. Unfortunately, our power to weight ratio is not good enough anymore. That might have to do with the weight of that turret. The weight of that turret's quite high. I think I might have up-armored that thing. If I'm looking at the Cruiser 1, look at that, 547. For, well, you're looking at even more weight. That's not great. That's not great. I could go for a bigger engine, but I don't have a whole lot of room in my tracks anymore. I'm already using quite a lot of the transport capacity from the tracks, if you will. Going with this. Maybe? What is road speed and cross-country going to say about that? Okay. Operation range is 17. We got a road speed of 33 and then cross-country at 29. This is better. Using the Cerberus 1 Mark 1v1. So I think we're going to have to go with that one. Alternatively, you can go with the Typhons. They're very heavy tracks, but they can probably carry... Woo. Yeah, they can bring up to 39 tons. Unfortunately, the tank's going to be massively underpowered when we use those tracks. You can maybe compensate for that by tossing like a 300 horsepower engine in there. But... you're looking at a very different design at that point. Like your road speed and cross-country speed are going to be good. Operational range is good. The problem is you're looking at a very different type of tank. I don't mind it, but I want to have that as a separate version. Like we're going to have a standard one, and we're going to have the more powerful version of the tank. So in this case, we're going to go with Cerberus 1s. And then when it comes to the guns, I think the German ones are still supreme. Attribute sum 289. And the German... oh, they cannot have the German ones because it's a British turret. Okay. So, the British don't have great guns. But they do have great turrets. We also got the Universal 540 here. Which is slightly lighter. Oh, it's got a whole antenna built in as well. And a machine gun? Ooh. Now we're getting somewhere. Hold on, does that mean I can just toss this turret aside? To make sure that I don't suffer any additional weight on that? Because that's only going to add a little bit of soft firepower, which I don't strictly need. Okay, so let's run with this. That's the German KWK. And then we're going to have, yeah, just the German machine gun, because that's still the best that we have available. So that's going to be that one, the Maschinengewehr. And now can we add all the crew that we need? Because it only seats 5 crew. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be tricky. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. Give me a loader, what, loader gunner? No. Loader commander won't work. Commander goes in here. We're going to have mechanics on these slots. So mechanic. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a loader gunner. He's going to be a little busy. It's not great. It's going to be a very, very crowded turret. If, alternatively, I don't use the armored seal, but instead I go for this, That's going to add another slot. I'm going to say this machine gun in the main turret is going to get removed. So just, I don't know, seal that up. And this, no, not the one in the back. This one in the front is going to get the turret. And the other one in the back is going to get removed. And now we're going to have the German machine gun in there. This way, it might be a little bit more suitable. Unfortunately, it's going to be, again, crowded inside that tank. So crew comfort or crew communication external is not as good. But crew awareness is pretty good. Crew aiming is pretty good. And you got a sort of independent operating machine gun turret. Which might work. Design limits work. It is a little underpowered though. That's a problem. Because that's a 180 horsepower engine. And I'm still sorting by attribute score. So if I'm looking at a different engine, I'm also looking at a different requirement for the amount of mechanics. That's going to be tricky. We're not currently researching a different engine, so I guess it's going to be slightly underpowered. I'm not a very big fan. Yeah, this is not exactly making it better because we're now too heavy. These tracks are the better option because they don't suffer from the same weight themselves. This is probably going to come back to bite me when looking at the amount of agility. Yeah, agility, road speed. Road speed is very good. This thing is extremely mobile. Operational range is good. Transportability not as such. Whatever. I think this is an interesting tank. Whether somebody wants to buy one, I have no clue. Now I want to make a heavy version. So we're still going to go with the same version of that. We're going to go with... Yeah, why not give it the massive engine? Like the Liberty V5. Which is already getting engineered anyway. Then we're going to add those enormous tracks. Which was, what, the Typhon series, I think? Yeah, because this is the Cerberus type. Maybe the Cerberus can be expanded to make for more room. Because that is a tier 2 track. Let's see. Can we make this better? Can we make sure that we have something that's capable of transporting more weight around the battlefield? I think that's the suspension. Yes. This one has a design limit of 3.5. This one has a design limit of 5. So you'll be able to carry more, but at the expense of a heavier track. And that does not offset each other. Again. It's the same problem all over again. I've had this before, and I still don't really have a good answer to it. If you go with this one, the improved bogie suspension, like your design limits are going up, but your weight of the track itself is going up so much that it's not feasible. If I take off the grousers, it's going to save a little bit of weight. But again, not as much. So I think this track is not exactly going to be the answer to my issues here. As for going with other, like this is just stats really. It doesn't change that much. So the tracks, unfortunately, are not going to be the answer here. No, I don't want to change that. Okay, so this means we'll have to use those weird tracks. The Typhon series, which are going to make this a very, very different machine. So this is going to be the version 2 heavy. Save. And yeah, there's the other draft. Okay. Now, we're going to add the turret. I think this one should, with all of its weight, be capable of supporting 2 turrets. So this one. That one. And then maybe I can use the best turret that I have available to me. 479? Maybe I still need to over-engineer this one. Yeah, 540. Why does that not pop up? Interesting. Oh, we also got a 588 here, but that's a cruiser. Maybe we can make that work. Okay, let's assume that. Then we're going to go with the gun. This is going to be a British gun. Simply because that's the one that is going to fit with that turret. So that's going to be this one. Then Then we're going to have the machine gun on the back, which is going to be the German machine gun. And we're going to have this machine gun here. We still have 10 tons available. That's a lot of weight. When it comes to commandering this thing, you're going to have a double role, though. Like, you're going to be a commander and a gunner. Look at how many gunners we need. And mechanics, too. This is going to be an interesting machine to work with. Can I make you a gunner loader? Sorry, commander loader. Yes, you're a driver. Then we're going to have nothing but gunners, really. And we still don't have enough. Maybe I need to toss one of the guns out. No, wait. This turret doesn't even have a coaxial. The hell? Okay. It's also like twice the weight relative to the previous version. Okay, so that's not the right turret for this tank. Go with this one. And then put a hefty gun in there. Like that one. No, this one, 289, yeah. You're not going to have any kind of additional machine guns on there. Let's see if I can push the amount of gunners that I need down a little bit. No. No. Whoops. Nope, I don't need that. Here. Okay, selected crew. Now we have an actual bigger problem. Because now we don't have a loader. So if I turn this into a gunner loader, we're undergunned. And this is with... Like, we're using one gun and 2 machine guns. That's it. It's not anything terribly special. That's unfortunate. If I change the plan and kick out the rear machine gun and instead add an armored seal there. No, not like that. Kick out the rear machine gun. That's that one. Seal that up. Then take that turret. And on the turret there was also a coaxial. Sort of. So we're going to put the German machine gun up there. Now we need 6 for 10 gunners. Unfortunately, I already... I'm maxed out. Different turret again? The cruiser one? Because this one can have a gun, but it cannot have a coaxial. Nope. Here. Selected crew. Now we need like a commander and a half. You're a commander and a gunner. And you're going to be a loader and a gunner. There. Again, we still have 10 tons available. If I add the additional 10 tons, this power to weight ratio is going to go very, very poorly. And because of that, I think we might have issues with the horsepower. The power to weight ratio is going to get far worse. And this is the best engine that I have as is. So that's not going to do a whole lot to improve it. If I save this one... yeah, okay. So we're going to attribute some of 2030 or 2029. The thing is heavier, the thing is more expensive to build, and it has a bigger crew. I'm not quite sure what the selling point of this tank is. Interestingly. Yeah, I don't really think we have a role for this one. This one I think is interesting. It looks a bit like a British take on a KV-1, but with a really weird turret on top. Okay, I'm going to engineer these things, and in the next episode we're going to see if there's anybody who actually wants to buy them. Thank you for watching the episode. I hope it was interesting. I hope I'm incorporating the lessons that you have for me, because there's definitely plenty to learn about the game. And unfortunately, I haven't learned all of it yet. So thank you for watching, thank you for commenting and helping me improve. And again, I'm hoping I'm improving as much as can be expected. Thank you for watching, I'll see you soon for more.